Had an interesting question the other day, which was, can I buy single Japanese shares? Because they seem to be priced in lots, so you have to buy a minimum of 100. And the answer is, sometimes. Now, if you go to buy shares on the Japanese market, you'll find that most of them are batched in lots of 100 or 1,000. So that you can't buy one share, you have to buy a minimum of 100. And, for a popular stock like, say, Nintendo's share price at the moment is just over 5,000 yen. So to buy 100 of them, you'd need at least 500,000 yen, which is a bit of a stretch for a lot of people. So are they locked out of the Japanese stock market? Not necessarily. The reason for these lot sizes, I believe, is that in the past, the Yakuza would actually buy like a single share, and then they could attend the shareholder meeting and they'd go and disrupt it and kind of demand payment to go away and stop disrupting the shareholder meeting. So to make that more difficult, companies impose these kind of lot sizes where in order to do that they'd need to buy 100 shares, which is a bit more of a stretch for most kind of lowly criminals at the time. And I think they've kind of stayed within the system just through inertia. But of course, that does make it difficult for people to buy and sell the shares. So what you can do now is that most brokers will give you the option of buying one share. And the way that works is the broker buys the 100 shares and then kind of divides them up and sells them on to individual customers. And in that way, you can buy a single share, but there is a drawback. There's actually two drawbacks. The first drawback is that the shares are not as liquid as they would be if you were buying them normally in lots of 100 or 1,000 and so on. So how that works is that you can't trade in real time necessarily. You have to trade at a specific time of day with your broker. The fees are likely to be higher if you're buying single shares, and perhaps more importantly for some people, you won't receive the shareholder benefits. So some Japanese companies will pay a dividend and or provide shareholder benefit. And the shareholder benefits are things like coupons or products or point cards or things like that the companies send out directly to their shareholders. But they only send them to people that have bought the lot of shares, so they're 100 shares or whatever. So if you've just bought one or two or a breakdown of that number, you won't receive the shareholder benefits, which in some cases will make a big difference to your kind of returns. So just bear that in mind. It is possible to buy single shares on the Japanese market, but you will probably pay a higher fee, it won't be as liquid, you won't be able to trade in real time, and you won't be able to receive the shareholder benefits. If that still seems okay, then go ahead, and that's a good way to buy shares of companies that might have been too expensive to buy otherwise. If you found this interesting or useful, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out and it will make sure that you see future videos.